Hello, everyone. I just wanted to remind you that tonight on the Oxygen channel, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, the Chris Watts Show will be on. And if you happen to miss that, there will be 2 more showings of it. And I'll let you know when you can find those. It's going to be an hour and a half program. And I'm really interested in seeing this one because there's going to be interviews with Tammy Lee, District Attorney Rourke, and I think maybe 1 or 2 other investigators. In this article here from people.com, it says that the investigators speak out about the Chris Watts case for the first time. It says how people from around the world were captivated after the family first was reported missing. Goes on to give some background on the case and about how oddly Chris was acting during his initial appearance and interview on TV when his family was missing. How he half-heartedly pled for his wife and kids to come home. He awkwardly shuffled side to side and just seemed bizarrely nonchalant and almost unconcerned about their fate. And they say the reason for that is, of course, he knew exactly what had happened to them because he had done it and he knew where they were. And it goes on to say that although the case is closed, that Watts was having an affair with a coworker at the time, and he will spend the rest of his life in prison. It goes on to say that there have been numerous books, podcasts, television specials, and just people examining what went wrong in the mind of a man who could do this and seem to be a devoted husband and father. So they will be exploring this in depth tonight on the premiere of Criminal Confessions on the Oxygen channel, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see here. I took a picture of my television screen, and it says investigators speak for the first time on the shocking deaths of Shanann Watts and her 2 daughters by their seemingly devoted husband and father, Chris Watts. You can view it at 6 p.m. Eastern. It'll have a replay at 9:30 p.m. And if you miss that, you can catch it tomorrow, Sunday, December the 8th at 8:30 a.m. I saw this other article here about the show. And it says that it gives some quotes from Tammy Lee, how this has affected her. This is from NBCnews.com. And it says the Oxygen Criminal Confession will air Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern. And it describes some of the effects that it has had on the investigators. It's very, very sad, and what they had to deal with investigating this case, and how many lives that Chris has affected by doing this. This is a quote from, let's see. Okay, it says, I've been doing this for over 30 years. I've investigated or been a part of investigations for over 170 homicides, and I don't get emotional very often. I'm able to detach myself to a certain degree. Kirby Lewis, special agent with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, said. He says he was not able to detach himself from this. And says how Chris was having an affair. And they pressed him, and he eventually confessed. He directed where he had put their bodies. And this is from Tammy Lee. She says, I was completely disgusted when she found out where he had put them. She felt sick. And she says, but she was like, we need to go get them. We need to go get them right now, says CBI agent Tammy Lee, who interviewed Watts. She said she knew everyone's lives were going to be changed from that moment on. The first tank had Cece. She was still in her nightgown. The second tank had Bella. And she says she just can't get that image out of her head. Isn't this horrible? She says, looking at those tanks and seeing the size of the hatch. No, this is from District Attorney Rourke. Looking at those oil tanks and seeing the size of the hatch at the top, and then to have to pull them out of that oil, he says he wouldn't wish that on his worst enemy. And they were expecting, a year-long case. But then he confessed. He says there was some satisfaction that he would never be able to hurt anyone. This is what Tammy said. And they all struggled with the fact that we did not know the truth. The whole truth. So that's when they flew to Wisconsin and interviewed him there. And they had audio files from that interview. She said that they had never contemplated that the girls were alive when he drove out to the oil site. And Work says the interview that he gave is worse than any of us could have possibly imagined. And a lot of people ask Tammy, do you believe him? Do you believe the final version was the truth? And she said she has to say yes, because it was more horrible than she had ever let her mind go to. She says this was a complete act of evil by Chris Watts. And I agree. It was an act of evil, pure evil by Chris Watts himself. Yes, he did this. Some people don't even think he did this, but he did. And I'm really hoping that some misconceptions and theories that have been put out there can be put to rest with this television show tonight. So make sure, if you can't catch it tonight at 6, there's 2 more viewings. Thanks for watching. Bye.